unlock the 5 a.m. miracle, wealth-building mornings. What if I told you that the difference between poverty and prosperity lies not in your circumstances, but in the single hour between 5 and 6 a.m.? What if the greatest secret to wealth accumulation has been hiding in plain sight, in the quiet moments before the world awakens? My friends, in my extensive research into the habits of America's most successful individuals, I discovered something remarkable. Every single person who had accumulated substantial wealth, from Andrew Carnegie to Henry Ford, from Thomas Edison to Charles Schwab, shared one common trait that transcended their industries, their backgrounds, and even their natural talents. They had mastered the art of the morning hour. This is not mere coincidence. This is scientific fact. The human mind, when properly conditioned and directed in those precious early hours, becomes a powerful magnet for opportunity, wealth, and success. Today, I will share with you the exact formula that these titans of industry used to transform their mornings into wealth-building machines. Chapter 1. The Science of the Millionaire Mind at Dawn. Let me begin with a conversation I had with Andrew Carnegie in his Pittsburgh mansion. It was a crisp October morning, and I had arrived at precisely 5:30 a.m. for our appointment. To my surprise, Carnegie had already been awake for an hour and a half. "Ill," he said, his eyes sharp despite the early hour. "Most men sleep through their fortunes. They dream at night and waste their mornings. But the successful man, he dreams with purpose and wakes with intention." Carnegie then revealed to me something that would forever change my understanding of wealth accumulation. He explained that the mind operates at its highest frequency in the morning hours before the day's distractions cloud our thinking. He called this the golden hour of consciousness, a time when our subconscious mind is most receptive to new programming and our conscious mind is most capable of clear, decisive thinking. This principle is rooted in what I have come to understand as the law of mental clarity. Just as a still pond reflects the sky with perfect accuracy, a mind that has not yet been disturbed by the chaos of daily life can reflect opportunities and solutions with remarkable precision. Consider this scientific fact. During sleep, your brain processes and organizes the previous day's experiences, clearing away mental debris and preparing fresh neural pathways for new information. When you awaken at 5 a.m., you are operating with a clean mental slate, a condition that becomes increasingly rare as the day progresses and external pressures accumulate. Thomas Edison understood this principle intimately. He would rise at 4:30 a.m. and spend the first 2 hours of his day in what he called invention time. During these morning sessions, Edison generated more breakthrough ideas than most inventors produce in a lifetime. He once told me, "Hill, the morning mind is like virgin soil, fertile, receptive, and ready to nurture whatever seeds of thought you plant within it." The wealthy have learned to capitalize on this natural biological advantage, while others sleep until the last possible moment, rushing through their mornings in a state of reactive chaos. The successful individual uses these early hours to program their mind for prosperity, plan their day with precision, and align their thoughts with their definite major purpose. Chapter 2. The Definite Major Purpose Morning Ritual. Every morning at 5 a.m., you must begin with the most powerful wealth-building exercise known to mankind, the crystallization of your definite major purpose. This is not merely goal setting. This is the deliberate programming of your subconscious mind for wealth attraction. Here is the exact process that I have refined through years of study and application. First, you must write out your definite major purpose in clear, specific terms. Not "I want to be wealthy," but "I will accumulate $500,000 by December 31st of next year through the expansion of my consulting business and strategic real estate investments." The subconscious mind responds only to definite, specific instructions. Second, you must read this statement aloud with complete faith and conviction. As you speak these words, visualize yourself already in possession of this wealth. See yourself making the decisions that a person of such means would make. Feel the confidence that comes with financial security. Hear the conversations you would have as a person of substantial wealth. Charles Schwab shared with me his morning routine, which he credited with his rise from a $1-a-day laborer to one of America's highest-paid executives. Every morning at 5 a.m. sharp, Schwab would stand before a mirror in his study and declare his intentions for the day, the month, and the year. He would speak to his reflection as if addressing a board of directors, outlining his plans with the same precision he would later use in his business meetings. Schwab explained, the man who cannot convince himself of his own success will never convince others to invest in his vision. The morning mirror session is where I practice the art of self-conviction. This practice works because of what I call the law of autosuggestion. When you repeatedly expose your subconscious mind to a clear, definite picture of your desired outcome, particularly during the receptive morning hours, you begin to automatically notice opportunities that align with your purpose. Your mind becomes a wealth-seeking mechanism, constantly scanning your environment for chances to move closer to your goal. But here's the crucial element that most people miss. You must attach genuine emotion to this morning ritual. Mere repetition of words without feeling is like trying to start a car without fuel. The emotion, whether it be burning desire, unwavering faith, or passionate determination, provides the energy that transforms thought into reality. Chapter 3. The Strategic Planning Power Hour. After programming your subconscious mind with your definite major purpose, you must engage your conscious mind in the practical work of wealth building. This is what I call the Strategic Planning Power Hour, a systematic approach to organizing your day for maximum financial return. Henry Ford revolutionized not only the automobile industry, but also the concept of productive morning planning. Ford would arrive at his office at 5:30 a.m., a full 3 hours before his employees, and spend this time in what he called efficiency engineering. He would examine every aspect of his business operations, looking for ways to increase productivity, reduce waste, and maximize profit. Ford once shared with me his morning planning formula, which he claimed was worth more than all his mechanical innovations combined. He would divide his planning session into 4 distinct segments. The first 15 minutes were devoted to reviewing the previous day's results. Ford would examine what had worked, what had failed, and what lessons could be extracted from each experience. He understood that wealth building is a process of continuous improvement, and each day's experiences provide valuable data for future success. The next 30 minutes were spent identifying the day's highest value activities. Ford had learned that not all business activities are created equal. Some tasks generate significant wealth, while others merely create the illusion of productivity. During this segment, he would identify the 3 most important wealth-building activities for the day and plan exactly when and how he would execute them. The following 30 minutes were dedicated to problem solving. Ford would identify the biggest obstacle currently facing his business and brainstorm potential solutions. He discovered that problems attacked in the quiet morning hours, when the mind is fresh and undistracted, often yield solutions that seem impossible to find during the busy day. The final 15 minutes were reserved for what Ford called opportunity scanning. He would review industry publications, examine competitor activities, and consider new market possibilities. This practice kept him ahead of industry trends and positioned him to capitalize on emerging opportunities before his competitors even recognized they existed. This systematic approach to morning planning creates what I call the compound effect of daily improvement. When you consistently spend 1 hour each morning optimizing your wealth-building activities, you create a compounding advantage that grows exponentially over time. Small daily improvements in efficiency, strategy, and execution accumulate into massive long-term results. Chapter 4. The Mastermind Alliance Morning Connection. No individual has ever accumulated significant wealth entirely through their own efforts. Every fortune has been built through the coordinated efforts of multiple minds working in harmony toward a common goal. This is the principle of the Mastermind Alliance, and the morning hours provide the perfect opportunity to strengthen and utilize these crucial relationships. I learned this principle directly from Andrew Carnegie, who attributed his entire fortune to his ability to surround himself with brilliant minds and coordinate their efforts toward wealth creation. Carnegie's morning routine included what he called alliance maintenance, a systematic process of connecting with key members of his mastermind group. Every morning at 6 a.m., Carnegie would spend 30 minutes writing brief, personal notes to members of his mastermind alliance. These were not business letters, but personal communications designed to strengthen relationships and maintain the harmony essential for effective cooperation. He would share insights, ask for advice, offer assistance, and express gratitude for their contributions to his success. Carnegie explained to me that these morning communications served multiple purposes. First, they kept him connected to the brilliant minds that formed his wealth-building team. Second, they positioned him as a valuable resource in the minds of others, ensuring that opportunities would be shared with him. Third, they created a network of mutual support that could be activated whenever challenges arose. But Carnegie's mastermind morning routine extended beyond mere correspondence. He would also spend time in what he called mental masterminding, a process of imagining conversations with his advisors and drawing upon their wisdom even when they were not physically present. During this exercise, Carnegie would pose specific business questions to his mental mastermind council. He would imagine how each member would respond based on their expertise and personality. Often, this mental consultation would reveal solutions that had not occurred to him through individual thinking alone. This practice is based on the scientific principle that the human mind can access knowledge and wisdom beyond its own direct experience when properly directed. By consistently connecting with brilliant minds, either physically or mentally, during the receptive morning hours, you create what I call a wealth intelligence network, a resource that multiplies your own capabilities exponentially. Modern technology has made mastermind alliance building even more powerful. You can now connect with brilliant minds around the world through digital communications, expanding your mastermind alliance beyond geographical limitations. The key is to use the morning hours, when your mind is fresh and your intentions are clear, to nurture these crucial relationships. Chapter 5, The Wealth Visualization Laboratory. The most successful individuals I have studied all possessed one remarkable ability. They could see their success before it manifested in physical reality. This is not wishful thinking or fantasy. This is the scientific application of mental imagery to wealth creation. The morning hours provide the ideal laboratory for this crucial practice. Thomas Edison's approach to wealth visualization was perhaps the most sophisticated I encountered. Edison would begin each morning with what he called invention visualization, a process of mentally creating and testing new ideas before investing time and resources in physical experimentation. Edison would sit in his favorite chair, close his eyes, and construct detailed mental images of potential inventions. He would visualize every component, every connection, every possible function. He would mentally test these inventions under various conditions, identifying potential problems and solutions before ever touching a piece of equipment. This practice saved Edison countless hours and enormous sums of money. By perfecting his inventions in the mental laboratory first, he could approach physical experimentation with clear direction and specific objectives. Many of his most profitable inventions were essentially complete before he ever began physical construction. But Edison's visualization practice extended beyond invention to wealth accumulation itself. He would spend time each morning visualizing the commercial success of his inventions. He would see factories producing his products, customers eagerly purchasing them, and profits flowing into his accounts. He would visualize the lifestyle that this wealth would provide and the additional opportunities it would create. This practice works because of what I call the law of mental magnetism. When you consistently hold clear, detailed images of wealth and success in your mind, particularly during the receptive morning hours, you begin to attract the people, opportunities, and circumstances necessary to transform these mental images into physical reality. Here is the specific wealth visualization process that I recommend. Begin by creating a detailed mental image of your ideal financial situation. See yourself checking your bank account and observing the exact balance you desire. Visualize yourself making investment decisions with confidence and wisdom. See yourself living in the home you want, driving the car you prefer, and enjoying the lifestyle that wealth provides. But do not stop with static images. Create mental movies of yourself successfully executing wealth-building activities. See yourself closing profitable business deals, making wise investment decisions, and receiving substantial income from multiple sources. Visualize yourself handling money with the confidence and skill of a person who has always been wealthy. The key to effective wealth visualization is specificity and emotion. Vague images produce vague results. Detailed, emotionally charged visualizations create powerful magnetic forces that attract corresponding physical realities. Spend at least 20 minutes each morning in this wealth visualization laboratory. Make your mental images so clear and compelling that they feel more real than your current circumstances. When you can visualize your wealth with complete conviction, you have taken the first and most important step toward its physical manifestation. Chapter 6, the Knowledge Acquisition Protocol. Wealth flows to those who possess specialized knowledge and the ability to apply that knowledge in service to others. The morning hours provide the optimal time for systematic knowledge acquisition, a practice that separates the wealthy from the masses who consume their minds with entertainment and triviality. John D. Rockefeller, despite his enormous business responsibilities, dedicated the first hour of every morning to what he called intelligence gathering. Rockefeller understood that in the rapidly changing world of business, yesterday's knowledge quickly becomes obsolete. Only those who continuously expand their understanding can maintain their competitive advantage. Rockefeller's morning knowledge routine was methodical and purposeful. He would begin by reading industry publications, not for entertainment but to identify trends, opportunities, and potential threats. He would study his competitors' activities, analyze market conditions, and examine new technologies that might impact his businesses. But Rockefeller's knowledge acquisition extended beyond his immediate industry. He would study successful individuals in other fields, extracting principles and strategies that could be applied to his own enterprises. He read biographies of great leaders, studied the methods of successful investors, and examined the strategies of master negotiators. This cross-pollination of knowledge from diverse fields gave Rockefeller insights that his industry-focused competitors missed. He could see opportunities and solutions that others overlooked because his knowledge base was broader and more diverse. The principle behind this practice is what I call the law of intellectual compound interest. Just as money invested wisely grows exponentially over time, knowledge acquired systematically creates an ever-expanding foundation for wealth creation. Each new piece of information connects with existing knowledge to create new insights, strategies, and opportunities. Here is the specific knowledge acquisition protocol that I recommend for your morning routine. Dedicate 30 minutes each morning to reading material directly related to your wealth-building activities. This might include industry publications, investment guides, business strategy books, or biographies of successful individuals in your field. Spend an additional 15 minutes studying subjects outside your immediate area of expertise. Read about psychology to better understand human motivation. Study history to recognize recurring patterns and cycles. Examine science to understand the principles that govern cause and effect. Keep a knowledge journal where you record key insights, strategies, and ideas from your morning reading. Review this journal regularly to reinforce important concepts and identify connections between different pieces of information. Most importantly, always read with a specific purpose in mind. Ask yourself, how can I apply this information to increase my wealth? Knowledge without application is merely intellectual entertainment. Knowledge applied systematically becomes the foundation of fortune. The wealthy understand that in our information age, the ability to quickly acquire, process, and apply new knowledge is perhaps the most valuable skill one can possess. By dedicating your morning hours to systematic knowledge acquisition, you ensure that your wealth-building capabilities continue to expand throughout your career. Chapter 7, the physical foundation of financial success. The connection between physical vitality and financial success is one of the most overlooked principles in wealth building. Yet every successful individual I have studied understood that a strong, healthy body provides the energy and endurance necessary for sustained wealth-building activities. Charles Schwab once told me, "Hill, a man cannot build an empire if he lacks the energy to work past his competitors' quitting time." Physical strength translates directly into financial strength. Schwab's morning routine included 30 minutes of vigorous physical exercise, regardless of weather or circumstances. He would rise at 5 a.m. and immediately engage in calisthenics, followed by a brisk walk around his estate. This practice, he claimed, provided him with more energy throughout the day than his competitors who began their mornings with coffee and newspapers. The science behind this principle is clear. Physical exercise increases blood flow to the brain, enhances mental clarity, and releases endorphins that improve mood and motivation. When you begin your day with physical activity, you create a foundation of energy and optimism that supports all your wealth-building efforts. But the benefits extend beyond immediate energy enhancement. Regular morning exercise builds discipline, persistence, and mental toughness, qualities that are essential for overcoming the inevitable obstacles encountered in wealth building. When you can force yourself to exercise when you don't feel like it, you develop the same mental muscle that allows you to persist in business when others quit. Henry Ford understood this connection intimately. Despite his busy schedule, Ford never missed his morning exercise routine. He would spend 20 minutes in physical activity, followed by 10 minutes of deep breathing exercises. Ford claimed that this routine gave him the mental clarity to solve complex business problems and the physical stamina to work longer hours than his competitors. Here is the specific physical foundation protocol that I recommend. Begin each morning with 10 minutes of vigorous physical activity. This might include calisthenics, yoga, or a brisk walk. The specific activity matters less than the consistency and intensity of your effort. Follow your physical exercise with 5 minutes of deep breathing exercises. Breathe slowly and deeply, focusing on filling your lungs completely and exhaling all stale air. This practice oxygenates your blood and calms your nervous system, preparing your mind for the day's challenges. Conclude your physical routine with a brief period of stretching or flexibility exercises. This practice not only maintains physical health, but also serves as a metaphor for mental flexibility, the ability to adapt and adjust your strategies as circumstances change. Remember that your body is the vehicle through which you must execute all your wealth-building plans. A well-maintained, energetic body provides the foundation for sustained high performance in all areas of life. Neglect your physical health, and you undermine every other wealth-building effort you make. The morning hours are ideal for physical exercise because your willpower is strongest after a night's rest. As the day progresses and decision fatigue sets in, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain the discipline necessary for regular exercise. By completing your physical routine first thing in the morning, you ensure that this crucial foundation is always in place. Chapter 8. The Gratitude and Abundance Mindset Cultivation. One of the most profound discoveries in my research was the role that gratitude plays in wealth attraction. Every successful individual I studied possessed what I call an abundance mindset, a deep conviction that opportunities for wealth creation are unlimited and that they deserve to participate in this abundance. Andrew Carnegie shared with me a morning practice that he credited with maintaining his positive mental attitude throughout even the most challenging business periods. Every morning, immediately after his planning session, Carnegie would spend 10 minutes in what he called gratitude accounting. During this practice, Carnegie would mentally review all the positive aspects of his current situation. He would acknowledge his health, his relationships, his business opportunities, and his accumulated wealth. But he would also express gratitude for challenges and obstacles, recognizing them as opportunities for growth and learning. Carnegie explained that this practice served a crucial psychological function. Hill, he said, the mind that focuses on scarcity attracts more scarcity. The mind that focuses on abundance attracts more abundance. Gratitude is the bridge between current circumstances and future possibilities. This principle operates according to what I call the law of mental attraction. Your dominant thoughts and emotions create a magnetic force that attracts corresponding circumstances into your life. When you consistently focus on abundance and express gratitude for your current blessings, you create a mental atmosphere that attracts more reasons for gratitude. Thomas Edison applied this principle in a unique way. Each morning, Edison would write in what he called his possibility journal. In this journal, he would record not only what he was grateful for, but also what he was excited about creating in the future. He would write about potential inventions, business opportunities, and ways to serve humanity through his work. Edison understood that gratitude for the present combined with excitement about the future creates the optimal mental state for wealth creation. This combination generates both the contentment necessary for clear thinking and the motivation necessary for sustained action. Here is the specific gratitude and abundance cultivation protocol that I recommend. Begin each morning by writing down 5 things you are genuinely grateful for. Include both material and non-material blessings. Be specific in your gratitude. Instead of "I'm grateful for my health," write, "I'm grateful for the energy and vitality that allows me to pursue my wealth-building goals with enthusiasm." Next, write down 3 opportunities or possibilities that excite you about the future. These might be business opportunities, investment possibilities, or ways to expand your income. Focus on the potential these opportunities represent, rather than the obstacles you might face in pursuing them. Conclude this practice by writing a brief statement affirming your worthiness to receive abundance. Many people unconsciously sabotage their wealth-building efforts because they don't believe they deserve success. By regularly affirming your worthiness, you remove this internal barrier to prosperity. The power of this practice lies not in magical thinking, but in psychological conditioning. When you consistently focus on abundance and possibility, you train your mind to notice opportunities that others miss. You develop the optimism and confidence necessary to take calculated risks and persist through temporary setbacks. Remember that your mental attitude is the foundation upon which all your wealth-building efforts rest. A mind filled with gratitude and abundance consciousness becomes a powerful magnet for opportunity, while a mind focused on scarcity and limitation repels the very success you seek to achieve. Chapter 9. The Daily Action Commitment Ceremony. Knowledge without action is worthless. Planning without execution produces nothing. The difference between those who dream of wealth and those who achieve it lies in their commitment to daily, consistent action toward their goals. The morning hours provide the perfect opportunity to make this commitment and ensure its fulfillment. Henry Ford developed what he called the Daily Action Commitment Ceremony, a formal process of identifying and committing to the specific actions he would take that day to advance his wealth-building objectives. Ford understood that success is not the result of occasional massive efforts, but of small, consistent actions compounded over time. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., Ford would stand at his office window overlooking his factory and make a formal commitment to himself and his enterprise. He would identify the 3 most important wealth-building actions he could take that day and commit to completing them regardless of obstacles or distractions. Ford would then write these commitments on a card that he carried with him throughout the day. This physical reminder served as a constant prompt to stay focused on his highest priority activities. At the end of each day, Ford would review his card and assess his performance, using any shortfalls as learning opportunities for future improvement. This practice worked because it transformed vague intentions into specific commitments. When you commit to specific actions in the clear light of morning, when your willpower is strongest and your thinking is clearest, you create a psychological contract with yourself that becomes increasingly difficult to break as the day progresses. Charles Schwab took this principle even further. He would not only commit to specific actions, but would also visualize himself successfully completing these actions. Schwab would see himself making the phone calls, conducting the meetings, and executing the strategies that would advance his wealth-building goals. Schwab explained that this mental rehearsal served 2 purposes. First, it increased his confidence in his ability to execute his plans. Second, it allowed him to identify potential obstacles and prepare solutions in advance. By the time Schwab began his actual business activities, he had already succeeded in his mind multiple times. Here is the specific daily action commitment ceremony that I recommend each morning. Identify the 3 most important wealth-building actions you can take that day. These should be specific, measurable activities that directly advance your financial objectives. Write these commitments down and carry them with you throughout the day. For each commitment, visualize yourself successfully completing the action. See yourself making the phone call with confidence, conducting the meeting with skill, or executing the strategy with precision. Feel the satisfaction of accomplishment and the progress toward your wealth-building goals. Set specific times for completing each action, and treat these appointments with yourself as seriously as you would treat appointments with your most important clients. Protect this time from interruptions and distractions. At the end of each day, review your performance. Celebrate your successes and analyze any shortfalls. Use this information to improve your planning and execution for the following day. Remember that wealth building is a daily practice, not a one-time event. By making formal commitments each morning and following through with consistent action, you create the momentum that transforms dreams into reality. Small daily actions consistently applied produce extraordinary long-term results. The morning commitment ceremony ensures that you begin each day with clear direction and specific objectives. This clarity eliminates the confusion and indecision that prevent most people from taking effective action toward their wealth-building goals. Chapter 10. The Evening Review and Morning Preparation Protocol. The power of the 5 a.m. morning routine is magnified exponentially when combined with an effective evening preparation protocol. The most successful individuals I studied understood that productive mornings begin the night before, with careful preparation and mental conditioning for the following day's wealth-building activities. John D. Rockefeller's evening routine was as methodical as his morning practices. Every evening at 9 p.m., regardless of his location or circumstances, Rockefeller would spend 30 minutes in what he called tomorrow's preparation. This practice ensured that he awoke each morning with clear direction and specific objectives. Rockefeller's evening preparation began with a review of the day's accomplishments and challenges. He would assess what had worked well, what had fallen short of expectations, and what lessons could be extracted from each experience. This review served not as self-criticism, but as data collection for continuous improvement. Next, Rockefeller would identify the 3 most important wealth-building activities for the following day. He would consider his long-term objectives, current opportunities, and immediate priorities to determine where his efforts would produce the greatest return. By making these decisions in the evening, when his mind was calm and reflective, Rockefeller avoided the rushed decision-making that often leads to poor choices. Finally, Rockefeller would spend 10 minutes in what he called success visualization for the following day. He would mentally rehearse his planned activities, seeing himself executing each task with skill and confidence. He would visualize successful outcomes and prepare mentally for potential challenges. This evening preparation created what I call the success programming effect. By ending each day with clear intentions and positive visualizations for tomorrow, Rockefeller programmed his subconscious mind to work on his wealth-building objectives throughout the night. He would often awaken with solutions to problems that had seemed insurmountable the evening before. Andrew Carnegie took this principle even further. Carnegie would conclude each evening by writing a brief letter to his future self, the successful version of himself that he was working to become. In these letters, Carnegie would report on his progress, ask for guidance, and reaffirm his commitment to his wealth-building objectives. Carnegie explained that this practice served multiple psychological functions. It reinforced his identity as a successful person, maintained his connection to his long-term vision, and created a sense of accountability to his future self. These letters became a powerful tool for maintaining motivation and direction during challenging periods. Here is the specific evening review and morning preparation protocol that I recommend. Each evening, spend 15 minutes reviewing the day's activities. Identify what worked well, what could be improved, and what lessons you learned. Record these insights in a journal for future reference. Spend 10 minutes planning the following day's 3 most important wealth-building activities. Consider your long-term objectives and current priorities to ensure that your daily actions align with your ultimate goals. Conclude your evening routine with 5 minutes of success visualization for tomorrow. See yourself executing your planned activities with skill and confidence. Visualize successful outcomes and feel the satisfaction of progress toward your wealth-building objectives. Prepare your physical environment for morning success. Lay out your clothes, prepare your morning reading materials, and organize your workspace. These small preparations eliminate decision fatigue and create momentum for productive morning activities. The combination of evening preparation and morning execution creates a powerful cycle of continuous improvement and sustained progress. Each evening's preparation makes the following morning more productive, and each productive morning provides better material for evening review and future planning. This protocol ensures that your wealth-building efforts are systematic, consistent, and continuously improving. Rather than leaving your success to chance or mood, you create a reliable system that produces results regardless of external circumstances. Chapter 11. The compound effect of morning mastery. Now that you understand the individual components of the 5 a.m. wealth-building routine, let me share with you the most important principle of all: the compound effect of morning mastery. This is the mathematical certainty that small, consistent improvements in your morning routine will produce extraordinary results over time. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the most powerful force in the universe. The same principle applies to personal development and wealth building. When you consistently invest 1 hour each morning in wealth-building activities, you create a compounding effect that grows exponentially over time. Consider this mathematical reality. If you spend 1 hour each morning on wealth-building activities, you invest 365 hours per year in your financial success. This is equivalent to more than 9 full work weeks of focused effort dedicated exclusively to wealth creation. Most people don't spend 9 hours per year planning their financial future, let alone 9 weeks. But the compound effect extends beyond mere time investment. Each morning's activities build upon previous morning's work, creating an ever-expanding foundation of knowledge, skills, relationships, and opportunities. Your morning visualization sessions train your mind to recognize opportunities. Your planning sessions improve your strategic thinking. Your knowledge acquisition expands your capabilities. Your physical exercise increases your energy and endurance. Henry Ford understood this principle intimately. Ford once calculated that his morning routine, consistently applied over 10 years, had contributed more to his wealth than any single business decision he had ever made. The routine had sharpened his thinking, expanded his knowledge, strengthened his relationships, and maintained his physical and mental health throughout the demanding process of building his empire. Ford explained that the compound effect operates in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Each component of your morning routine reinforces and amplifies the others. Your physical exercise increases your mental clarity for planning. Your planning sessions provide direction for your knowledge acquisition. Your knowledge acquisition improves your visualization and goal setting. Your visualization strengthens your motivation for action. This synergistic effect means that a well-designed morning routine produces results that are greater than the sum of its individual components. You don't just get the benefits of exercise plus planning plus visualization. You get the exponential benefits of these activities working together in harmony. Thomas Edison discovered that his morning routine created what he called innovation momentum. Each morning's activities prepared his mind for breakthrough thinking throughout the day. Problems that seemed impossible to solve during regular business hours often yielded to solutions that emerged during his morning sessions or in the enhanced mental state that these sessions created. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of the compound effect is its impact on your identity and self-concept. When you consistently wake up at 5 a.m. and engage in wealth-building activities, you begin to see yourself as the type of person who takes control of their life and creates their own success. This identity shift influences every decision you make throughout the day. You begin to ask yourself, what would a successful person do in this situation? You start making choices that align with your wealth-building identity rather than your current circumstances. You invest in opportunities that others see as risky. You persist through challenges that cause others to quit. You maintain standards that others consider unrealistic. Here's how to maximize the compound effect of your morning routine. First, commit to consistency above perfection. It's better to maintain a simple routine every day than to attempt a complex routine that you abandon after a few weeks. Start with the basics and add complexity gradually as the habits become automatic. Second, track your progress systematically. Keep records of your morning activities, your daily accomplishments, and your long-term results. This data will help you see the compound effect in action and maintain motivation during challenging periods. Third, continuously refine and improve your routine. As you grow and your circumstances change, adjust your morning practices to reflect your evolving goals and capabilities. The routine should serve your objectives, not become an end in itself. Fourth, share your commitment with others who support your success. When you publicly commit to your morning routine, you create accountability that helps maintain consistency during difficult periods. Remember that the compound effect requires patience and faith. The benefits may not be immediately visible, but they are accumulating every single day. Just as a tree grows imperceptibly from day to day, but dramatically from year to year, your morning routine is creating changes that will transform your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. The wealthy understand that success is not an event, but a process. By mastering your mornings, You master the process that creates wealth. By controlling the first hour of your day, you gain control over your entire life. Chapter 12, Overcoming the Obstacles to Morning Mastery, Patan. Every person who has attempted to establish a 5 a.m. routine has faced obstacles and challenges. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail lies not in the absence of obstacles, but in their preparation for and response to these inevitable challenges. In my conversations with successful individuals, I identified the 5 most common obstacles to morning mastery and the specific strategies that the wealthy use to overcome them. By understanding these obstacles in advance and preparing your responses, you can avoid the pitfalls that derail most people's efforts. The resistance of comfortable habits. The first and most powerful obstacle is what I call the resistance of comfortable habits. Your current sleep and wake patterns, regardless of how unproductive they may be, feel comfortable and familiar. Your mind will resist changing these patterns because change requires energy and creates temporary discomfort. Charles Schwab faced this challenge when he first attempted to establish his 5 a.m. routine. Despite his intellectual understanding of the benefits, Schwab found himself repeatedly hitting the snooze button and returning to his old patterns. He overcame this resistance through what he called graduated implementation. Instead of attempting to immediately wake up 2 hours earlier, Schwab moved his wake-up time 15 minutes earlier each week. This gradual approach allowed his body and mind to adjust slowly to the new pattern without triggering overwhelming resistance. Within 8 weeks, Schwab had successfully established his 5 a.m. routine without the shock and discomfort that often leads to abandonment. The key to overcoming habit resistance is to make the change so small that it feels almost effortless. Your mind is more likely to accept a minor adjustment than a dramatic transformation. Once the new pattern becomes comfortable, you can gradually expand it to achieve your ultimate objective. The evening preparation neglect. The second major obstacle is neglecting the evening preparation that makes morning success possible. Many people focus exclusively on the morning routine while ignoring the evening practices that support it. This approach almost always leads to failure because productive mornings require adequate sleep and proper preparation. Andrew Carnegie learned this lesson through painful experience. In his early attempts to establish a morning routine, Carnegie would stay up late working and then attempt to wake up early for his wealth-building activities. The result was exhaustion, poor decision-making, and eventual abandonment of the routine. Carnegie solved this problem by establishing what he called evening boundaries. He committed to ending his work activities by 9 p.m. and beginning his sleep preparation routine immediately afterward. This discipline ensured that he obtained adequate rest and awoke refreshed and energetic for his morning activities. The evening preparation routine is not optional. It is essential for morning success. You must treat your bedtime with the same respect and discipline that you apply to your wake-up time. Consistent sleep and wake times create the biological rhythm that makes early rising natural and sustainable. The perfectionism trap. The third obstacle is the perfectionism trap, the belief that your morning routine must be executed flawlessly every single day or it's not worth doing at all. This all or nothing thinking causes many people to abandon their routine after a single missed day or imperfect execution. Henry Ford encountered this challenge during a particularly demanding period in his business. Ford missed several days of his morning routine due to urgent business crises and began to feel that he had failed in his commitment. His initial response was to abandon the routine entirely, reasoning that if he couldn't do it perfectly, he shouldn't do it at all. Ford overcame this obstacle by adopting what he called flexible consistency. He maintained his commitment to the routine while accepting that some days would be abbreviated or modified due to circumstances beyond his control. Ford realized that 80% consistency was infinitely better than 0% consistency. The key to avoiding the perfectionism trap is to focus on progress rather than perfection. Your goal is to establish a pattern of morning excellence, not to achieve flawless execution every single day. When you miss a day or execute imperfectly, simply return to your routine the following morning without self-criticism or abandonment. The social pressure challenge. The fourth obstacle is social pressure from family, friends, and colleagues who don't understand or support your commitment to early rising. These individuals may mock your routine, create guilt about missing social activities, or actively sabotage your efforts through late-night invitations and distractions. Thomas Edison faced significant social pressure when he established his morning routine. Edison's social circle included many individuals who preferred late-night activities and viewed early rising as antisocial or obsessive. Edison initially attempted to maintain both his morning routine and his previous social patterns, but found that this compromise undermined both his rest and his relationships. Edison solved this challenge by finding new social connections who shared his commitment to early rising and productive mornings. He began associating with other early risers and gradually reduced his involvement with individuals whose lifestyle patterns conflicted with his wealth-building objectives. The key to overcoming social pressure is to remember that your commitment to wealth building may require temporary sacrifices in social activities. Surround yourself with individuals who support your success rather than those who encourage mediocrity. Your true friends will respect your commitment to self-improvement, even if they don't share it. The motivation fluctuation problem. The fifth and final obstacle is the natural fluctuation of motivation that occurs over time. The initial enthusiasm for your morning routine will inevitably diminish as the novelty wears off and the daily discipline becomes routine. During these periods of low motivation, many people abandon their practice just when it's beginning to produce significant results. John D. Rockefeller experienced this challenge during his third month of morning routine practice. The initial excitement had faded, the benefits were not yet clearly visible, and Rockefeller found himself questioning the value of his early rising commitment. He was tempted to return to his previous patterns and abandon the routine entirely. Rockefeller overcame this obstacle by creating what he called motivation anchors, specific reminders of why he had committed to the routine and what he hoped to achieve through it. He wrote a detailed letter to himself describing his wealth-building goals and the role that his morning routine played in achieving them. He read this letter whenever his motivation flagged. Additionally, Rockefeller began tracking specific metrics related to his morning routine's effectiveness. He measured his energy levels, productivity, decision-making quality, and progress toward his financial goals. This data provided objective evidence of the routine's value during periods when his subjective motivation was low. The key to maintaining long-term motivation is to focus on systems rather than feelings. Your commitment to your morning routine should not depend on how you feel on any given day. Instead, it should be based on your understanding of the compound benefits that consistent practice produces over time. Create external accountability through tracking systems, social commitments, or professional coaching. When your internal motivation fluctuates, these external supports will help maintain your consistency until your motivation returns. Remember that obstacles are not failures. They are opportunities to strengthen your commitment and refine your approach. Every successful person has faced and overcome these same challenges. Your ability to persist through obstacles is what separates you from the masses who abandon their wealth-building efforts at the first sign of difficulty. Ultimate 5 a.m. wealth-building formula. Now, my friends, let me present to you the complete systematic formula that synthesizes everything we have discussed into a practical, implementable routine that will transform your mornings into wealth-building powerhouses. This formula has been tested and refined through the experiences of the most successful individuals of our time. It represents the distillation of thousands of hours of research, hundreds of interviews, and decades of practical application. When followed consistently, this formula will produce results that will astonish you and transform your financial future. The complete 60-minute wealth-building morning routine, 5-5-10 a.m. Awakening and physical activation rise immediately upon awakening. No snooze button, no negotiation, no delay. Drink a full glass of water to rehydrate your body and activate your metabolism. Engage in light physical movement, stretching, calisthenics, or a brief walk to energize your body and sharpen your mind. 5-10-5:25 a.m. Definite major purpose programming. Write out your definite major purpose in clear, specific terms. Read it aloud with conviction and emotion. Visualize yourself already in possession of your desired wealth. Feel the emotions of success, security, and accomplishment. Program your subconscious mind for wealth attraction through repetition and emotional intensity. 5:25-5:40 a.m. Strategic Planning Power Session. Review yesterday's results and extract lessons for improvement. Identify today's 3 highest value wealth building activities. Plan exactly when and how you will execute these activities. Anticipate obstacles and prepare solutions. Create a clear roadmap for the day's success. 5:45:50 a.m. Knowledge Acquisition Protocol. Read material directly related to your wealth building objectives. Study the strategies of successful individuals in your field. Acquire new knowledge that expands your capabilities and opens new opportunities. Record key insights in your knowledge journal for future reference and application. 5:56 a.m. Gratitude and action commitment. Express genuine gratitude for your current blessings and opportunities. Affirm your worthiness to receive abundance. Make formal commitments to today's wealth-building actions. Visualize yourself successfully executing these commitments. End with a declaration of your determination to make today a stepping stone toward your ultimate financial objectives. This routine, practiced consistently, will create the compound effect that transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary wealth builders. Each component reinforces and amplifies the others, creating a synergistic effect that produces results far greater than the sum of its parts. The implementation strategy: begin immediately, but start gradually. For your first week, focus only on waking up at 5 a.m. and engaging in light physical activity. Add 1 new component each week until you have implemented the complete routine. This gradual approach prevents overwhelm and increases your chances of long-term success. Prepare your environment for success. Lay out your clothes the night before. Prepare your reading materials. Organize your workspace. Eliminate any obstacles that might prevent smooth execution of your routine. Track your consistency and results. Keep a simple record of your daily routine execution and weekly progress toward your wealth-building goals. This data will provide motivation during challenging periods and help you refine your approach for maximum effectiveness. Find an accountability partner or coach who supports your commitment to morning excellence. Share your routine with someone who will encourage your success and help you maintain consistency during difficult periods. The transformation timeline: within the first week, you will notice increased energy and mental clarity throughout the day. Your decision-making will improve, and you will feel more in control of your life and circumstances. Within the first month, you will begin to see measurable improvements in your productivity, focus, and progress toward your wealth-building goals. Opportunities will begin to appear more frequently, and you will develop the confidence to pursue them. Within the first quarter, your morning routine will become automatic, requiring no willpower or conscious effort to maintain. Your wealth-building activities will accelerate, and you will begin to see significant progress toward your financial objectives. Within the first year, the compound effect of your morning routine will produce results that will amaze you. Your knowledge, skills, relationships, and opportunities will have expanded dramatically. Your financial situation will have improved substantially, and you will have developed the habits and mindset necessary for continued wealth building throughout your life. Remember, my friends, that this formula is not theory, it is proven practice. Every wealthy individual I have studied has used some variation of these principles to create their success. The specific activities may vary, but the underlying principles remain constant: early rising, systematic planning, continuous learning, physical vitality, and consistent action. The choice before you is simple. You can continue to sleep through your opportunities, allowing others to claim the wealth that could be yours, or you can join the ranks of those who understand that fortune favors the early riser. The 5 a.m. miracle is not a miracle at all. It is the natural result of applying proven principles with consistency and determination. When you control your mornings, you control your life. When you control your life, you control your wealth. The alarm clock that awakens you at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning is not just signaling the start of another day, it is announcing the beginning of your transformation from dreamer to achiever, from wisher to wealth builder, from ordinary to extraordinary. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Conceive of yourself as a person who rises early and builds wealth systematically. Believe in your ability to maintain this routine and achieve your financial objectives. Then take action to transform your conception and belief into reality. The time for excuses has ended. The time for action has begun. Your wealth-building future starts tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Will you answer the call?